Hi, my name is Ana Maria Matamoros. I'm a creativity empowerment coach. I teach women how to tap into their creativity so that they can pivot their business and be relevant in this changing world that we're living in. So when my son graduated from high school, the principal said, "This generation is going to work in jobs that aren't being invented yet, solving problems that aren't problems yet." Well, let me tell you something. We don't need to worry about our kids. They've got it covered. They are digital natives. We should worry about ourselves. This generation is the one that has to pivot and the one that has to adapt. So the pandemic changed it all. The pandemic, overnight, we had to change our way of living, the way we learn, the way we work, how we socialize, how we connected, everything. So that huge change accelerated what was supposed to take about a decade or so. So right now, it's our generation that has to innovate in order to stay relevant. In this talk, I'm going to teach you 20 ways to innovate. Number 1, be faster. We used to have a business in which we could blog and get away with it. That's no longer true. People are used to consuming fast things and entertaining stuff because of TikTok and Reels. So right now, the best performing Reels are between 8 and 10 seconds. You have to deliver your message in 8 or 10 seconds. So whatever your job is right now, how can you make it faster, easier to consume? You can always create long content, but you have to spice it up with a little bit of short ones. Number 2, turn physical products into digital products. It doesn't matter if you have a company that sells jams or t-shirts or whatever. How can you make subscription boxes or printing them on demand or everything? Because right now we're used to staying at home and receiving everything by mail. So you have to adapt your business to that new way of being. 3, adapt the blockchain technology. What does that mean? Yes, you can accept crypto and Bitcoin as payments. You can do that. That is one area of it, but also the NFTs, which now are used to sell music, to have the digital property of everything you own. Like for example, your house can have the digital property also on the blockchain, and that will be very secure. So that's one way that we have to start learning about smart contracts so that we can use it in our favor. For example, you've probably wondered why are NFTs so expensive? Because that's the new era of social media. But we can use NFTs because you can partner with some artists and use an NFT as a receipt in your business. So everybody who buys a one-on-one consultation on a course or everything, you give her an NFT as a receipt. And that way, that person can have that artwork and it can also be sold at one of those marketplaces. So that's one way that people are using it. For example, Gary Vee sold NFTs, and that gave you access to 3 of his in-person trainings and another whole lot of content. And Mark Cuban from Shark Tank, he sold the tickets for the latest game as NFTs so that later they could become like vintage tickets that you could resell for a higher price. So that has a lot of potential in any industry that you're in. And number 4, the Metaverse. I don't know if you saw Mark Zuckerberg interacting in the Metaverse. Instead of being in a Zoom call, he just has an avatar and was in this digital world, which he was interacting with all of the other office members, like in a cartoon where they were all in their home with just a headset, but they were all like in person in this virtual world. So this virtual world, we're going to have our own homes. We're going to socialize there. We can put our NFTs that we buy in our walls, in our virtual walls. There's going to be entertainment. There's going to be like a second world, but in virtual. So learning about the metaverse is very important because architects are going to be needed, designers are going to be needed, coders, landscape artists. There's a whole lot of jobs that are going to open for those people that want to enter that space. Number 5, artificial intelligence. These are things that computers do that used to require human intelligence, like for example, language translation, speech recognition, We have artificial intelligence right now in the chatbots that we use for our businesses in marketing so that they can optimize your ad. So learning how you can use that in your business is very important. Number 6, clean energy. You've probably gone to the supermarket and see all of these products that advertise as gluten-free. And we buy them because we think they're more healthy. The same way happens with the products that are advertised as more ecologically friendly because they have a lower carbon footprint, or they use recycling or upcycling. So using the solar panels or something to make your product is a great selling point for your business. Number 7, the Internet of Things means all the things that we have in our home that have the internet on it. For example, starting from us smartwatches to Alexa to the lights that are intelligent and they turn themselves off and on automatic. The refrigerators, because every item that goes in has a barcode. As soon as you take it out and don't replace it, a shopping list goes into your phone. So our homes are becoming these intelligent things, which we have to be very aware of also, because that is a huge threat to the cybersecurity, and lots of jobs will open in that area of cybersecurity. Number 8, app. We use our phone more than we use our computer. Therefore, if you have a coaching program, a membership site, whatever you have, you need to create your own app, because people no longer want to log into their computer and look for the resource page, all of the things that we do on our computer. People want to have their app with your name on it, with your logo, and be able to click in there and have a list of all the resources ready at their fingerprints so that they don't lose any time. So that's a big thing that you have to incorporate into your business right now. Okay, number 9 is big data, and that's going to need a lot of data scientists. Big data is all the data that we put into Google every time that we do a search, the fitness trackers, and our cars that are being tracked also where we go, and also everything that Amazon recommends, because the websites have these things that are called cookies, that is like dark data in which they track us, all our movements in the web, and that is used sometimes to retarget ads to us to sell us more, or sometimes to sell our contact information. That's very dangerous. That's a huge loss of privacy. Then we have number 10, robots. We used to know about the robots that make all the cars in the automotive industry, but robots are taking right now the manufacturing industry, and if you do a task in your job that is repeatable and that can be automated, probably in the future will be controlled by a robot. That is much cheaper than paying a person. So there are big advances in robots in medicine, because you can have tiny robots go inside your body to check how your organs are, or everything, big breakthroughs in science. And also there comes these ethical elements that right now the robots are so intelligent. There are some in Russia, there are some robots that are able to shoot guns. So where do we draw the line? And in Dubai, they're using robots as policemen. Then we have number 11, self-driving vehicles. This opens a huge amount of jobs in sensors and manufacturing parts from this new technology that is already applied, and already one of those self-driving cars killed a woman. But let's hope that in the near future they're going to be much safer than if we were actually driving them. 12, drones. Drones are no longer just for photography. Right now, drones are used to spray harvests. They are used to look for people that are lost in the woods or whatever, to deliver packages, to deliver medicines, and we're just beginning to see all that we can do with drones. 13, brain-computer interface. This is when they put us a cap full of electrodes to track all of sensory movements in our brain. And that is used to translate our intention into physical movement. That is great for disabled people, because they can think, I want to move my prosthetic foot, and it will obey. So that's great for that thing. They also use it for marketing, so they can track, because we already know that the purchases that we do are based on emotions. We buy out of emotion, and then we rationalize our purchase. So which is the best color, that is the most attractive, which price, everything is tracked through our brains. And in our future, we'll be able to have our brain connected to the cloud so that we can play games and do other type of things. That is the future. 14. Virtual and augmented reality. I don't know if you've played with a VR headset, but I have. So I have been with my headset walking in different areas of the world, like where there is snow, and through cities and everything. I can visit museums. I have been under the sea watching all the sharks around me and everything just with my headset. It's a great experience. Really, it's amazing. It's really it's just going to get better. And then we have augmented reality. And augmented reality, we have seen it in the Snapchat filters and also in the Instagram filters, when I can have like a wild animal here beside me. And that is great for marketing purposes, because I can try out makeup with augmented reality. And I can see, for example, IKEA allows you to have their furniture in your own home by augmented reality. So there are lots of uses for you to be able to see a product three-dimensionally and everything. 15. 3D printing. 3D printing is taking a blueprint from the computer and turning it into a 3D object. And it used to be like for accessories or prototypes mainly. But right now you can do it any size and you can have it in any material. So that is a great breakthrough in technology. For example, imagine spare car parts that you can print in your home and you don't have to ship them from around the world. And also Nike is printing one of their tennis shoes. I've seen homes that are 3D printed that are 20% cheaper than the actual homes. You can do prosthetics. There are edible 3D printers. Imagine that for the future of baking. The possibilities are endless. So that is a good area to explore to see what you can do with it. 16. Biotechnology and genetic engineering. So this has been used, like for example, for taking babies on the mother's womb and injecting them so that they can eliminate their HIV or some other illnesses that they have. So that's great for that, but it also brings the controversy of what happens if we want to create genetic babies, right? And also this is going to change the way that we grow food, because it's going to alter all the crops and everything. Animals can be altered, and also all the plastic and biofuels are altered. So that could be great for doing more ecological conscious plastics. 17. We have nanotechnology. That is science, engineering, and technology conducted on a nanoscale, which means almost an invisible scale. Like for example, the sunscreen that we use has very small particles that absorb the ultraviolet rays and reflect them. And also several anti-aging creams have these very potent ingredients in them using that nanotechnology. We can also use it to make faster computers, to turn polluted water into drinking water. Also in medicine, they are used to put it inside medicine so that they can search for the ill cells and just attack them. Like for example, if you have cancer or something, and leave the other ones that are good alone. So that is great. How can you use nanotechnology in your field of expertise? 18. Innovate or die. We all know what happened to Blockbuster and then to Kodak, right? One of the CEOs in Kodak wanted to do digital cameras, but the rest of them were, no, we have thousands of stores around the world and the factories and everything, and they did not innovate. So that's why they lost all the market, and the CEO that had that idea went on and started Instagram. We all know how that ended. So we don't have to change everything at once, but we have to start small, the way that Amazon started. For example, at first it was just delivering books, but right now they have Amazon Go with food, and Amazon Handcrafted, Amazon Shipping, and affiliates and everything. A lot of services, but they began with one thing. 19. Identify a problem and look for a solution. So that's how big companies start. They have a problem and they look for a solution. For example, Airbnb started when a couple of college guys saw that their city was packed full and all the hotel rooms were sold out because there was this big conference, and they thought, oh, what if we rent our space and we just put some air mattresses and offer breakfast. And all of other college students, their friends, were on it, and they began this website, and that was the beginning of Airbnb. Then Uber began when two guys were stranded in the snow waiting for a taxi, and all the taxis were full with people, and they thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we could call a available car from our phone? So yeah, having a problem and brainstorming ways to solve it is a great innovation technique. 20. What if? Ask yourself, what if? What if my product or service was smaller? What if it was bigger? What if it was cheaper? What if it was more expensive? What would it look like? What features would it have? What if it would be faster or slower? What if it was combined with this other product? After all, the iPhone is just a whole lot of things combined, right? So what can you adapt from another industry that could work in your own? So being open-minded to what if opens up a huge lot of changes that you can make in order to improve and to adapt your product or service. Right now, 35% of United States workers are digital nomads. That means that they can work from wherever they are in the world. That means less infrastructure and less transportation costs. So that is the future of the world. We're going to be working from wherever we can, and we have to adapt that. We need to have a growth mindset. In order to have a growth mindset, we need to be always sharpening our saw, always learning, always acquiring new skills. And we no longer have to go to a classroom, right? We can take a free online course or a paid online course, and you can take a challenge, you can join a membership site, you can take a quest. There are 1,000 ways in which you can learn for free from YouTube, from TED Talks. So there's no excuse for you not to be in constant learning. And there are also like the soft skills, which are communication, time management, problem solving skills that you have to be very aware of in this time. The new jobs are going to be technology related, e-commerce, and green energy. So try to get into one of those fields. The fourth industrial revolution is here. That is the fusion of the physical, technological, and biological domains. The way in which we're going to adapt to that new reality is by sharpening our skills. And we can start diversifying our careers and also creating intellectual property that can give us passive income, joining the gig economy, and also creating space in our lives to be more creative, more imaginative, to become a problem solver. The biggest challenge that we're facing right now is the speed of the world operating as a massively interconnected system. I love this quote by Simon Sinek that says, "What good is an idea if it remains an idea? Try, experiment, iterate, fail, try again, change the world." Thank you.